Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to today's video. I'm coming excited today to talk a little bit about Memento, especially in Genesis format. A lot of people assume that the deck is kind of dead because I believe the Creation King, Twin Dragon, and Bone Party are all 33 points, right? So, like, how do you make this deck playable? So today, I'm gonna be introducing a very cool deck, which is gonna be Trap Memento. And I know a lot of you guys have seen my Trapster dolls, back in the day, and I kind of applied similar deck building theories to come up with this technology. We're gonna be doing two things. First, I'm gonna be showing you guys the deck profile on Dueling Book, just because I don't have all the cards yet, but I did cook it up, and so I'm gonna be buying the cards to get access to them. And then second, I'll be showing you guys like a live combo with like the cards, where how you can like basically get to the full end board without using Bone Party at all, because I don't play Bone Party in my deck list so that I can have more room for non-engine. So that's gonna be kind of like key to like my strategy, which is like comboing without Bone Party, which is very easy to do actually. Once you understand all the underlying steps and all the sequencing with Memento cards. Additionally, guys, this Friday we're gonna be releasing the new playmat that you guys are gonna be seeing here. This is a very beautiful playmat, very nice cloth fabric that is gonna be released. And if you guys are interested in trying to get access to this, definitely be on the lookout for Friday at noon EST, where we're gonna be pretty much dropping this new playmat. Super nice design, and yeah, if you guys are into two-player cloth mat, then these are the ones that you're gonna want to get for sure. Additionally, we're finally coming out with new Supreme Pros. We're working on a new prototype right now, and I think you guys are gonna like this. It's been in the works for like years now, and we've been trying to finally figure out the best formula to give you guys the best product possible. So be on the lookout for the new Supreme Pros that are gonna be dropping relatively soon. I can't give you guys any date yet, but kind of want to just tease it out there. And if you guys have been playing a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh and you're looking to improve, then definitely consider checking out the Inner Circle, just a group of individuals like myself, Nash, Jib, just people trying to improve at the game. And if you guys are trying to get to the next level, you've been playing a lot, but you're just not quite there yet, then definitely consider joining below, so we can try to help you get to that next step, to top your first YCS, make your first day 2, whatever your goals are. We can help you accomplish that. So definitely check that out. And then yeah, and you'll be in joining the exclusive circle where you guys will see all the behind the scenes of all the deck lists, everything. So but without further ado, let's kind of go over like the combo first. So this is gonna be just off one Anguich, and then I don't have, like I said, I don't have all the cards, but I figured I'm gonna be showing you guys all the combos. Yeah. So anyways, we go normal summon Anguich. We're gonna use her effect, and we're gonna grab access to the horse. So this is pretty much like the combo that you guys have seen. We're going to use special summon the horse now, and then use the effect to tribute or to destroy. We're going to be sending Sleepy, Goblin, and then Mace. So these are going to be the 3 that we're going to be sending to the graveyard. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to use the Anguish effect to destroy herself to bring back the Memento Mace from the graveyard. Okay, so a lot of very similar sequencing up to this point. This is going to be your graveyard. And then we're going to use the Mace effect to destroy itself. And then we'll grab a copy of Memento Fusion from our deck to our hand. We're then going to play the Memento Fusion. And we're going to be very carefully shuffling the names that we've used already. We want to put Mace back into our deck because we want to add it to our hand later. We want to put back Anguich because we no longer need access to it because we've already used it. And then you want to use your horse, right? Because these are going to be the 3 names you've used already. So you want to keep the names that you have not used yet in your graveyard, very intentionally actually, because we're going to want to use these effects later. So we're going to shuffle these 3 back, right, for Memento Fusion, because a card was destroyed by card effect in my possession this turn, or my monster was, and summon the Creation King. Okay, so the Creation King is then going to use its effect to send 3 Memento cards from the deck to the graveyard. So which 3 do you want to prioritize? So because we only have 1 Creation King in this format, we're actually going to be sending the Gaddick, and we're going to be sending the Memento Sig Clan off this Creation King, just because we only have 1 of him, and we don't really want to banish him from our graveyard. And then we're going to be sending, of course, Akihiron, right? So these are going to be the 3 that we're going to be sending to essentially hopefully achieve our combo. And then when Gaddick is sent to the graveyard, he's going to be summoned back, and then we're going to use his effect to get you the field spell back to your hand. Now this is going to be really important because now we're going to be able to get access to the field spell, and then we're going to use the effect of Memento Fusion to banish itself, right? To essentially destroy a Memento monster or a monster on the field, and then adding a copy of a Memento Spell and Trap directly from our deck to our hand. So we're actually going to destroy our Creation King, and then we're going to be searching another copy of Memento Fusion, right? What happens here? Well, then we're going to have two triggers. We're going to have the Memento Cyclan targeting the Creation King, and then we're going to have Akihiron effect triggering to summon itself back, right? And then the Memento Field Spell will allow us to target the Creation King to summon any Memento monster from our graveyard that has less stats in it, right? So we're going to be actually special summoning the Sleepy, and then we're going to actually trigger the Memento Sleepy to actually perform a fusion summon. So we're actually going to use Sleepy and Gaddock to special summon now Twin Dragon. And then here we're going to use the effect of Twin Dragon to destroy itself, and then add two Memento monsters from our deck to our hand with different names. So we're going to add a copy of, for example, either Mace, and then we're going to add a copy of Horn Dragon. You can also get a copy of Anguish instead of Mace, and then I'll explain that later, which ones we get. But we're going to add one of the two here. And then, because the Twin Dragon was destroyed, we can then summon back our Memento Goblin from the graveyard. From here, we can then use the effect of Goblin to destroy the Akihiron, right? And then send two Memento cards directly from our deck to the graveyard. So we're now going to use this to send a copy of the Combined Creation to the graveyard, and a copy of the Fracture Dance to the graveyard, so that the field spell can then place it back down. And then Akihiron triggers because it was destroyed by battle or card effect. We can then add a copy of Memento Fusion back to our hand, essentially. So at this point, let's say we'll put the Mace back. At this point, we can then special summon the Horn Dragon, and then we can shuffle back 5. These 5 right here. So basically, you want to put back these fusions off the Creation King as much as possible, because you want to make these later on your opponents. So recycling these cards are really, really important. And then yeah, we're gonna put all these back. So now pretty much all this goes back, and then we're gonna have this in the graveyard, double Mental Fusion in our hand for follow up, and then Anguish in our hand. The reason why it's important to have Anguish is because this can also summon from hand. So that's why it's also really good. So here we're pretty much gonna go set a Memento Fusion, and then use the field spell at emphasis to set Fracture Dance. And then here, this is really good because, sorry, I'm using different sleeves right now because I don't want to re-sleeve my entire deck. But yeah, so here I'm using I have Fracture Dance. What this card allows you to do is target a card on the field, destroy it, and if you control the Tallulika, you can actually destroy any card on the field non-targeting. Now that's really good because you can then do something where you trigger this to special summon Witch from hand, which is then going to get you a copy of Sleepy, right? And then here, you can use this to pop one of your opponent's card and then resolve it to pop like an Anguish or something. Then you can special summon Sleepy. Then you can use Sleepy to fuse with the Goblin. And then you can summon, for example, Twin. Use Twin to pop the Horn. Add Mace. And then add like a Goblin for follow-up. And then new chain the Horn triggers to kill the Sleepy. Kill the Twin, pop 2 of your opponent's monsters. And then the Twin triggers to summon back. And then you can see that you basically get to resolve a pop 3. And then you still have a Mental Fusion to summon the Creation King as well to pop hella cards. So, it's very hard to crack this because a lot of decks in the format of Genesys just can't kill you. And then you have like a lot of follow-up with this card basically. So it's just game. And you have also a Snatch Steal and the Memento Goblin in play. So that's pretty much like the concept on like how this deck is being played. And you also have another Memento Fusion in your hand for follow-up for next turn, pretty much. Or I like having 2 Memento Fusions in play, also because a lot of people play like MST. So if they MST one of the fusions, if you only play one, and they MST it, it's really annoying. So setting 2 Memento Fusions is pretty good as well, because then you can play around MST. Or like a Cosmic Cyclone. So that's why I think having 2 in place is actually pretty good. because then even if you get Cosmic Cyclone, like you still have another one in play, so you guarantee Memento Fusion. So they have the Cosmic Cyclone Fracture Dance, which I think is fine, because if they Cosmic Cyclone Fracture Dance, you can chain it, pop something, pop a card in the pop one of your monsters, pop a card on the field, and then this card can pop one more. But this card is really good because you just want like to have a back row pop in case anything goes wrong. So I think this card is just absolutely insane. But that's kind of like the gist of the one card combo. So hopefully you guys understood how it works, and then you can obviously, if you have more cards, you can adapt accordingly. But that's kind of like the initial sequencing per se, on what you want to achieve. But yeah, you pretty much get everything in rotation, which is obviously super broken. So yeah, but yeah. Anyways, now we're gonna get into kind of like the deck profiles. So I'm gonna be showing you guys kind of like the idea I had, which is what you see here. So this is, I call this, basically you have 100 points to build a deck. So right now I pretty much have a lot of my points in the two cards, just Twin and Creation King. I think those are the most important ones. And then like I have about like 34 points for non-engine. I think the best is gonna be 3 Book of Eclipse and 3 Droll. I think these cards are just absolutely phenomenal. I really like Eclipse in this deck because it's a way to outplay. It's a way to just make sure you survive. Because if you survive, it's like really broken for Memento because it has a really good grind game. And then Droll and Lockport just because it beats all the FTK decks pretty much. And then now the goo is going to be Trap Tracks, Dogmatic Punishment, and Torrential Tribute. So I've been playing these. I've been testing out the traps. I think traps are really good because if you get like VFD'd or something, which is the thing in this format, the True King of All Calamities, having these traps allow you to like survive and play on your opponent's turn, which is really important. So why is Punishment exceptionally good in this deck is because Punishment can send cards like Baphomet or Chimera to the graveyard, and then these cards in the graveyard have effects, right? Because this one, for example, can banish this card from the graveyard to bring back a Beast, Illusion, or Fiend from the grave, which means you can actually bring back a Sleepy and then trigger Sleepy to like Fusion Summon, for example. And then Punishment just has like insane value because there's other really good cards too, like Skull Wagon or Skull Knight, which can be dumped. And this card basically says you banish this card from your graveyard, you pop a spell and drop a card on the field. This one says you banish a card from your graveyard, you pop a monster in the field. So you don't really need Intis, basically, because you just send those, or you can send Garua. You can also Memento Fusion for Garua, which I don't really think it comes up. And then you'll also have like Mud Dragon as well, because it's something that you can make. And then yeah, so if you play the Dogmatic Punishment, it just has a lot of good synergy with this deck randomly because you don't really care about being locked out from your extra deck, actually, because you can just play completely without your extra deck because of like Combined Creation. So even if you get locked out of your extra deck, it's completely fine. Like it's just more of like a grind game card. And a lot of people won't really expect it, which makes me believe that I think you can actually play Extravagance in this deck, but I'm afraid of losing these two. But yeah, I think Punishment is actually pretty good, and like I said, it doesn't actually matter if you get locked out from the extra deck because a lot of the ways you're going to be winning is just with Combined Creation, and then just setting up to play on your opponent's turn. And then Torrential's good, and then Trap Track is also really good because this can like pop a monster and set a normal trap directly from your deck. So you can set a Torrential or Punishment or even Fracture Dance. And like Fracture Dance is really good because like with the field spell, you can constantly loop this card, and your opponent just can't come back from this. And it also has a really cool graveyard effect, which like makes it so that you don't die. Where if your opponent declares an attack involving your Memento, you can banish this, and all your opponent's monsters lose 1,000 attacks until the end of the turn, so that you can survive as well. And it makes it hard for them to like attack over your stuff. So yeah, that's kind of like the idea I had. I wanted to try this out. I think it's really good. Another cool thing is that like Dogmatica Fleur de Lis is also a hand trap, which allows you to set the Dogmatica Punishment from your deck. And the only criteria for this card is that if there's a monster specimen from the extra deck, you can special summon this card from your hand. So you can also side this card going first, because if you end on like Creation King or Twin, you can special summon this from the hand for free, and then just set Punishment. Because you play so many good cards in the extra deck, you can actually just like play Slayer as well. So you can actually main deck Slayer or even side it because you have so many good cards that you can send, right? You also have like Dark Ruler, which I think also helps you contest the board. This was a card I really missed that I really liked. I thought this card was like really strong. And then Flying Sea for basically any like sort of like XYZ deck that like can't overlay with like threes, like Automat Rizal, like or the Automat deck or something like that. XYZ Encore is for like the VFD deck, where they try to put up, they invest all their points into True King Val Calamities, and XYZ Encore lets you like use with priority to target the Vet Calamities so that they're not able to lock you pretty much, which I think is pretty good. Um, and yeah, it also helps you out like some like cards like Pearly, like because they add on like the towers. But yeah, so I think it's overall like pretty good. Yeah, Flying Sea is also good against like Pearly because they have a hard time outing the Flying Sea pretty much. So I think Flying Sea is like really strong for any like XRC based strategy. But yeah, let me know what you think about this goo I cooked up. Or if you think I should cut these traps. I've been trying to play even more traps, to be honest, trying to find some good ones. I saw like the Ruma can is on too bad. Trap Check's cool because, like I said, like this deck's kind of like Unchained. You pop your own monsters and like you don't really care. It actually makes your cards live, like Sleepy or anything like that. But I think there's also like a lot of room to explore with like the Radiant cards, maybe even. But yeah, I'm still cooking. And I'm still trying to like figure out some goo stuff for Memento. But yeah, if you guys like this stuff, let me know. If you guys like maybe got some inspiration for your own stuff, let me know. But yeah, I hope you guys learn a little bit about the combos, what to do, and what to expect. But yeah, definitely gonna play some more Genesis in the future. I really like the format. I think it's definitely fun enough in a better position than TCG at the moment. So I've been just trying to explore outside my comfort zone, and I've been really enjoying the deck building, the creativity process. Something that I haven't really. You don't really get to flex those muscles as much. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you guys like it, let me know, and I can definitely do more. And what other decks you want me to explore in Genesis? I've been trying pretty much a lot of different stuff. If you guys want to see some of the brews, let me know. And then yeah, I'd love to do that for you guys. So comment down below what deck you want me to explore next, and I'll definitely give it a shot in Genesis and maybe profile for you guys. Anyways, thanks again, of course, for the support. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.